You think you have choices. Every day you make dozens of them. iPhone or Samsung, Coca-Cola or Pepsi, United or Delta, Pfizer or Johnson & Johnson. But here's the truth nobody talks about. Behind all these brands, behind all these so-called competitors, there's a hidden layer. A group of companies so powerful, so enormous, that they own pieces of almost everything you touch, use, and consume. Yet most people have never heard their names. They don't put up billboards, they don't run commercials during the Super Bowl, their CEOs aren't celebrities. But together, they control over $20 trillion. That's more than the entire economy of every country on Earth except the United States and China. The biggest one is called Vanguard. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how the world really works. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to 1975. The stock market back then was a rich person's game. If you wanted to invest, you had to pay brokers massive fees to pick individual stocks for you. Most of these brokers couldn't even beat the market average. They were just guessing, and you were paying them for it. Then a man named Jack Bogle had a radical idea. He was running a company called Vanguard, and he asked a simple question. Why are we trying to beat the market? Why not just own the entire market? So he created something called an index fund. Instead of picking a few stocks, his fund would buy a tiny piece of every major company in America. No expensive stock pickers, no guessing, just automatic ownership of everything. It was brilliant, and it was cheap. Regular people could finally invest without getting ripped off by fees. Bogle genuinely wanted to help the middle class build wealth. He called it the investor's best friend. And on the surface, that's exactly what it was. Millions of Americans used index funds to save for retirement. Teachers, nurses, mechanics, regular people finally had a seat at the table. But here's what nobody saw coming. Bogle had accidentally created something else, a machine that would concentrate power in a way the world had never seen before. Let me show you how this works. When you put money into a Vanguard index fund, Vanguard uses that money to buy stocks, thousands of stocks. They buy shares in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Exxon, Bank of America, airlines, drug companies, media companies, everything. Now, here's the key part. When Vanguard owns those shares, they get to vote. Every share of stock comes with voting rights, and Vanguard votes on your behalf. They decide who sits on company boards, they vote on executive pay, they vote on mergers and acquisitions. You gave them $100 for your retirement, and now they're in the boardroom of every major corporation in America. And they're not alone. There's BlackRock, there's State Street. These three companies, using money from regular people's retirement accounts, have become the largest shareholders in almost every major company you can name. Look at the airlines. Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are top shareholders in United, Delta, American Airlines, and Southwest. All of them. The same three names show up in the pharmaceutical companies, in the tech giants, in the oil companies, in the banks. Think about what this means. If you own 10% of Airline A and 10% of Airline B, do you want them to compete against each other? Do you want them to start a price war? No. You want both of them to be profitable. You want both of them to raise prices. Competition hurts your investment. Cooperation helps it. This is what economists call common ownership, and it's everywhere now. Let's put this in perspective with a real example. In 2013, American Airlines and US Airways wanted to merge. This would create one of the biggest airlines in the world and reduce competition. Normally, regulators would be nervous about this. Fewer airlines means less competition, means higher prices for travelers. But here's what happened. The same institutional investors owned huge chunks of both airlines. After the merger, those investors owned an even bigger chunk of the combined company. And guess what? The regulators approved it. Now look at your daily life. You wake up and check your iPhone. Vanguard and BlackRock are among Apple's largest shareholders. You use Google to search for something. Same owners. You watch a show on Disney+, same owners. You fill up your car with gas from an Exxon station, same owners. You bank with Chase or Bank of America, same ownership. You buy insurance from State Farm or Allstate, same pattern. The choice you think you're making, it's not really a choice, not in the way you imagine, because the same hands hold the strings on both puppets. This isn't a conspiracy. This is just math. When index funds became popular, they had to buy everything. And when they bought everything, they became the biggest owner of everything. In the 1800s, Rockefeller built Standard Oil and controlled 90% of America's oil. The government eventually broke up his monopoly because they said it was too powerful. One man shouldn't control an entire industry. But today, Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street collectively own significant pieces of almost every industry, and nobody's talking about breaking them up. Why? Here's where it gets really interesting. Why aren't regulators doing anything about this? First, it's complicated. These firms don't technically own the companies. They're holding the shares on behalf of millions of people: teachers, firefighters, nurses, regular people trying to retire someday. Breaking up Vanguard means messing with those people's retirement accounts. That's political suicide. Second, the system benefits a lot of powerful people. Politicians have their money in these funds. Regulators have their pensions managed by these firms. University endowments, charities, everyone's plugged into the same system. And third, and this is the big one, it's invisible. Rockefeller's monopoly was obvious. One company, one man, one product. Easy to see, easy to target. But this system is spread across 3 firms, millions of investors, and thousands of companies. It's a monopoly that doesn't look like a monopoly. And maybe most importantly, for most people, it seems to be working. Your 401k is going up, your retirement account is growing, the stock market keeps hitting new highs. Why would you want to mess with that? But here's what we're not asking. What's the real cost? When companies don't have to compete as hard, they can charge higher prices. Your airline tickets cost more, your phone bill is higher, your medication is more expensive. These costs are invisible. You don't see a line item on your receipt that says monopoly tax, but you're paying it every single day. Research has shown that industries with high common ownership have less innovation, higher prices, and lower wages. The competition that drives capitalism to work for consumers, it's being quietly eliminated. Now let's talk about something even more interesting. These firms aren't just voting on business decisions, they're voting on social and political issues too. You've probably heard about ESG, environmental, social, and governance investing. It sounds nice. It means companies should care about climate change, workers' rights, diversity. Good stuff, right? But here's the thing. When Vanguard uses your retirement money to vote on these issues at companies, they're making political decisions with your wealth, and you didn't get a say in it. Maybe you agree with their positions, maybe you don't. Either way, they're wielding enormous political power using money that belongs to millions of people who never signed up for that. This is the part that should worry everyone regardless of your politics. We're talking about a concentration of power that goes beyond economics. These firms are voting on how companies treat the environment, how they compensate workers, who serves on their boards. They're shaping society itself. And here's the loop that makes it inescapable. The more people save for retirement, the more money flows into these firms. The more money they control, the more shares they buy. The more shares they buy, the more power they have. And the more power they have, the more they shape the economy in ways that benefit large shareholders. If you're not invested in the market, you're falling behind. But when you invest in the market through index funds, you're feeding the very system that's concentrating power. You can't win by staying out, but getting in makes the problem bigger. So what do we do about this? The honest answer is there's no easy exit. This isn't like boycotting a product or switching brands. These firms are the infrastructure of modern capitalism. They're woven into the pension system, the retirement system, the entire financial system. But here's what you can do. First, understand it. Most people don't even know this system exists. Now you do. Knowledge is the first step. Second, demand transparency. These firms should be required to disclose how they vote on issues and let investors have more say. Some changes are already happening, but slowly. Third, and this is controversial, but consider it, if wealth is being concentrated at the ownership level, then you need to be an owner, not just a consumer. Save more, invest more, not because it fixes the system, but because it's the only way to not get completely left behind by it. The great irony is that Rockefeller spent decades building his empire through aggressive tactics and ruthless competition.
He was eventually stopped by the government. But today's system, built by a man trying to help regular people invest, has created something even more powerful. And it happened quietly, automatically, without anyone really planning it. The names on top have changed. Standard Oil became Exxon, Carnegie Steel became US Steel, but the concentration of power, that never really went away. It just got better at hiding. The companies that own everything are hiding in plain sight, in your retirement account. And now that you know, you can't unsee it.
If you want to understand the other invisible systems running your life, subscribe. Because this is just one layer, and it goes so much deeper than you think.